Hey guys, welcome to the Stealthy Crafter. My name's Jessica, and today we are doing a Wip Chat. If you don't know what Wip stands for, it stands for work in progress. And then, of course, you chat along or you listen to me ramble about what's been going on throughout my week. So, if you guys want, you can get your own whip, or if you want to listen to me ramble while you rest your eyes, sit, do chores, whatever it is that you want to do, we can get started. So, still working on Aquarius. I'm plugging away. I'm almost done. I got I would say after this row, I have 3 more rows, and I have it sectioned off. So, I would say 21, 22, 23, 24 more sections to go. Don't know if I can get this done within the next 2 weeks. I'm kind of hoping I can. But with how my schedule is, and plus with the kids getting all these school events that's been popping up, I don't know if I can. But I did open up the next section, even though I got a little bit more over here to finish up, just because I felt like I didn't want to try and cut everything on camera and move the canvas over for you guys, so that way I already have it all prepped and ready to go. I just figured I'll keep on working over. So, I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a pretty decent week this week. There's not a lot to do, which is good because the next few weeks are going to be crazy busy. So I'm glad I got a little bit of a reprieve, especially with how busy the last few weeks were. But the funny thing is, I actually thought up of the title for this. Normally, I get into I have a hard time thinking up of a title for my videos, even though I do the whole Whip and Chat and stuff like that. And then, I'm spending, a good, hour or two going, okay, I know I talked about this, but what should I title it? But today I have it wouldn't be the perfect title, but I've already got it. It's going to be my, irritating neighbors. Something's going to be about irritating neighbors, isn't it? And it might be a bit of a rant video. Hopefully not too much of a rant video. But the first part is me going to be talking about a neighbor that's down the road and how she's more than annoying. She's a pretty awful neighbor, and no one on the street likes her. And the reason why I'm going to talk about her is, so my neighbor next door, after I finished my Whip and Chat last week, I noticed that there was a person taking pictures of houses around the street. Now, I was just like, okay, not a big deal. It's probably one of those, realtor pictures, that they send, you send an ad with a picture of your house going, this could be yours, this could be, you could be selling this for, whatever. And I was like, I'm like, it's probably that time again. It's been a few months since we've gotten it. So I didn't think a lot of it until Friday when I went to pick up the kids, and my husband went, oh no, when he looked outside and looked straight at our neighbor's house. I'm like, don't tell me anything bad. And he goes, okay, I won't. And then he pulls the car out of our garage, and I look over, and my neighbor has a for sale sign on her house, and I'm like, what? No. Because, I like her a lot. And I was really sad. Oh, if you do hear noise, we have a garbage truck that's coming by, and also my husband's busy at work, so you might hear some keys clacking along because he has a mechanical keyboard. So do I. And they're just a little bit noisier than normal keyboards. All right, let's go with E. We're gonna go with that color next. So normally that would be it, right? Neighbors moving, not sad, not a big deal. We'll move on, right? But no, the next day on Saturday was open house. So she was moving quickly. And we found out one of the reasons why she was moving is, Well, I mentioned about before that she had a break-in, well, an almost break-in, attempted burglary, however you pronounce it. Someone tried to break into her window, her bathroom window. She didn't feel safe, of course, after that, and she doesn't want to live in the area anymore. So, and also one of the other reasons is our lovely, lovely neighbor that lives next door to her. Oh, man. So this neighbor, let's see, I gotta think of a name, because I have a couple of not nice names for her that you guys don't need to know. I would say psycho, but I think that would be kind of a little offensive, but she is nuts, guys. Something ain't right with her. So when they had open house, I was annoyed, but not at my neighbor, because of people who were parking in front of our driveway. For some reason, since we have our car inside our garage, people think we're not home. So they think that our driveway is basically free to park in front of, or sometimes even try to park at, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were here. That doesn't matter. Don't block a driveway, because even if someone's not there, they might be coming home and they want to get into their house. So that was my only slight annoyance. But it was whatever. Later on in the day, I kind of took a look outside, because there was a lot of cars that's coming by, and then I noticed the lady. Maybe let's call her Cat Lady, because for a reason. So Cat Lady, and nothing wrong with cats, because I want to get myself a cat sometime. But Cat Lady, she was talking to a lot of people who were leaving the house, and like kept pointing to her house a lot. And I'm like, what is going on? What is she doing? Thinking nothing much of it. But then on the next day, on Sunday, my husband went outside when he was going to go to his mom's house, and actually stopped to talk to the neighbor, because she was outside. And she was really upset. And I felt bad for her. Come to find out that Cat Lady was trying to poach on her on people who were coming over to the open house, and kept going, well, I'm about to sell my house. My house is, I don't know, it's like she was like, my house is so much better than this person's or whatnot, but she was basically trying to get them to buy her house instead. I mean, like, her house doesn't even have a for sale sign, or anything. So, and who knows if she's telling the truth, because a long time ago she said that she bought the plot next to her house so no one can move next door, but that was a lie. So, I don't have no clue if that's true or not. So, I forgot the E's were over here too. Don't you hate that you accidentally missed a color? So it was just like, if that was just the only thing that she has done, then, it wouldn't be something, that I would talk about. But this woman has basically, would terrorize be the right word to tell you guys? I guess. But she has made a lot of people's lives miserable on the street, and she has caused a lot of people to move. She had a neighbor that was across the street from her. They had kids. So, you know what? We're going to go way back. We're going to go way, 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 way back when I first started living here, which was 8-ish years ago. This house, we bought this house as a plot of land. So, when we first came here, it was just dirt. My husband picked out this plot. We picked out the plans, the build plans of what we wanted to be put on the plot of land. And then, we came here every weekend, excited as can be, because we're like, yay, first house, new house, yay! Because at the time, we lived in apartments, and I had my parents have their own house. But the house that they live in it's really old. It's really it's not a nice house. It's torn up. It should be set on fire, to be honest, because of how much of a hazard it is. It's falling apart. I'm worried about my parents. I keep telling them that they need to find something because I don't like the fact that they're living there with the porch that's hanging off. But anyway, we're both excited. My husband and I are excited. Our oldest, Nicole, she's 2 years old. So I mean, like, she's so young, tiny, miniature size, and she's a toddler too. So we come here every weekend. We get excited, because at first it's just dirt forever, and then we get excited because we see concrete slabs, and then a few weeks later there's framework put up. And one of those weeks where I think it was still the framework put up, we came over to show off the place to our in-laws. Like, look at our dirt, look at the concrete slab, like that. And we get Cat Lady. She's out there. And at the time, there wasn't a lot of houses being built on the street. Like, her house was the last house on this street that was built. And they said that they weren't going to build anymore. It was going to be like a little, roundabout kind of thing. They lied. It's whatever. But at the time, it was just, her house was the last house on this street. And then there was just, not woods, but it was just like a field. And it was like overgrown grass and stuff, like stuff you would not let your kids go out on. But there was like the houses surrounding me were all also being built. But she was out there, and she and her husband invited us to come over to look around their house. And like at the moment, I'm like, oh, how nice, And then we get separated. I don't know why they separated us. I still don't know why. But to this day, I'm still baffled about the whole thing. So my husband and my in-laws went with her husband for the outside to look at the patio, the grill, everything outside. She brings me inside to look at all the home stuff, I guess. And the moment I step inside, she's like, oh, I don't want her walking around. I can't stand children. I don't want them touching things. And I'm like, okay, she has something valuable, understandable. My daughter's 2 years old. I would understand. I don't want, if I had something, set out, don't want, little grubby hands grabbing things, whatever, right? Not a big deal. And then it just kind of devolved from there. It was just, my goodness, like every few minutes she would just complain about the fact that she hated kids. And whenever my daughter would make a sound, like be it a happy shriek or being upset, she would just cover her ears and grimace, and it was just like, okay, something's not right with this woman. And it's just she was like telling me what I needed to do, like with our sink. We bought the double sink because, we were on a budget. And she's like, well, you need to do this because, for Thanksgiving, this makes it easier to wash turkeys. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't eat turkeys, so that's fine. And I think that set her off. I don't know. I'm going to say it set her off. It's probably just the fact that I had a toddler with me is what set her off. Then it was just like, the shower, I remember the shower, she was like showing me the shower and it had like a handle in it. And she's all like, well, you need this too. And I'm like, no, I think I'm fine. I'm like, we wanted to get a shower. So funny story, one of the things with the building, I didn't want a tub shower combo. I just wanted a shower. And for the same frame, but just to take out the tub part, it was going to be $750 for that. I'm like, no, never mind. We'll just deal with the shower tub combo. Don't go with True Homes, guys. That's what we went with. Don't go with them. They suck so bad if you're ever going to get your house built. And then another thing was like the gas. She was asking if we had gas. I'm like, no, because it was expensive. And she's like, well, you need to have that hooked up. And it's like, it's 3 to 5. If I remember, it's like 3 to 5K to have a gas hookup, and she was just like saying how we needed to contact our builder and get them to do this, and this. And she always contacted her builder when they were building this house. And even though this house wasn't part, oh, funny. So the neighborhood has a set type of plans. So you pick from these type of build plans. Her house was not part of the build plans for the neighborhood. Her house, I think, literally was meant for like retirement type homes. And she strong-armed to get that home, from what I remember. And she was bragging about it. And I'm like, okay, whatever, right? But during this whole time when she's like telling me this stuff, she's also going, I hate children, and she was just like, covering her ears all the time. And it got to the point where I was so upset that I excused myself and went right back into the car, and I just cried, and I was like calling my husband, and of course he's preoccupied with his parents, and they're talking to the husband and doesn't even notice that I'm in the car. I have a toddler who at this point, she's cranky and hungry and tired, and she's wailing her head off. I'm wailing my head off. So it was just like an awful combination. So when my husband came in the car, he is like, what is going on? And I'm just like, I don't want to live here. I don't like this place. I don't like that person. I don't want to live next to her. And it was like already too late by that point, because we signed paperwork and everything. But, he was like, well, maybe it'll be better. Maybe it was just a bad first impression. And I'm like, okay. I was really upset about that. I mean, like, at the time, now I can laugh and go, oh my God, what an awful person to do that. But at the time, it was deeply upsetting. I was, and I was, she really got me. And I'm a sensitive person, so of course things get to me a bit more. But yeah, looking back, it's like, why would someone act like that? There's nothing wrong with not wanting kids. There's nothing wrong with disliking them. I think there is something wrong when you are living in a neighborhood that is very much a child-friendly place and expecting people not to have their children out, and expecting that basically your street should be child-free, essentially. And then treating like the children that live next to you like total crap when they are just doing normal child things. And I mean just like running around and playing in their yard, not even in her yard, because God forbid if you touch her yard. But it's just, it's kind of like that. So, goodness, some other stuff, when we finally moved into the house, at that time I found out I was pregnant. Didn't know I was pregnant with twins. But I found out I was pregnant. I'm like, well, we weren't expecting to fill the house already, because we were like, we're going to have one more kid. One more kid. When we move in. Like, we were like, maybe a few years down the road, we'll have one more, that way, and we'll be done. Yeah, we move in, and it's like, oh, like, I think it was like a week or two before we moved, and I found out I'm pregnant. And then a month later, oh, it's twins. Anyway, let's see. What color should I do next? Let's go with this one. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I could tell you a couple more things about her. So when we moved in, one of the things that she would do is, when I was pregnant, I was really uncomfortable a lot. And I would have Nicole play outside. I mean, like, I'm out there because she's hello too. So I'm out there and we're just like bouncing a ball off the garage. It's not making a lot of racket. It's not like a basketball. It's one of those really huge inflatable balls, and she's not really even smacking it up against the garage. It's just like bouncing up and down the driveway. And cat lady would come out and stare at us, and it's just like, and she would make me so uncomfortable where I just go, okay, I'm going back inside. Come on, sweetie, And it was just short periods of time. And she would do the same thing when I would go out in the backyard. And Before this place got built up, the backyard didn't have a fence from our neighbors behind us. We didn't even have neighbors behind us. It was just all woods and thicket and brambles, and it was just a thorny mess out there. So I didn't really like Nicole playing over there because I didn't want her to get hurt. And plus, with me being pregnant, I wasn't able to really go up and down that steep part of the hill. So I had her stay closer to the house, and we didn't really do a lot of crazy stuff, but I had her playing with the ball. We were playing catch with each other, and things like that. And we also didn't have fences, so between my neighbor's house and then her, she could come out and stare right at us before all the fences got built into place. And I was just like, why is she staring at me? And she would constantly cover her ears if she heard Nicole just go, really loud because she's happy. And yeah, it was really nuts. So I kind of stayed inside a lot of times until I finally gave up and went to go to the, there's a hole in that. Oh, I'm sorry. I knocked the camera. But I went to the playground that was in the area, so that way I wouldn't have to deal with her. But I only could do so much until I had the twins, because walking up and down that hill was really rough on me. After I had the twins, I was hoping things would calm down, and especially since we had a neighbor next to us. She and I would have our kids playing together, and it was a little bit more tolerable when I had someone next to me, so it didn't make it as awful. But there's times where she wasn't around, and summer's hot. It's summer's coming up. It's already miserable at times. Yes, I know wearing long sleeves, but that's because the AC's on here and it's always on the cooler end, and I get frozen easily inside. But outside it's humid and it's miserable, and the HOA here has, banned pools, even kiddie pools. So we're not allowed to have any type of swimming pools at all. So which is a bummer, but that's okay. But what we do have is water toys, and she sent her husband over one day because we had this little water bed kind of thing, which was allowed. And it, you fill it up, and then it's you kind of squish on it, and it has those little plastic beads, they're glitter kind of stuff and things that float. So, and it's a see-through cover, so you can squish on it. And it was something to keep the kids cool and comfortable because of how miserable it was. And plus, in the early, the first few years that we lived here, we would have power outages because of the storms that would roll through. And then, of course, the power would go out. So it was just no AC, and we were just so hot and miserable. Just let them have some fun outside. But yeah, she sent her husband over and went, "Is that a pool?" Now, 35-year-old me would be kind of sarcastic and a bit of a smart butt and go, "No, what do you think it is?" Like that. But little tiny timid me at the time would be "No, it's just a water toy." And then it got, "Well, make sure you empty it when you're done." It's okay, you weirdo, and it was kind of like that with any of our water toys. We had this goodness, it looked like a pirate ship kind of thing, and it was the kids could stand around and just splash at it. I mean, oh my goodness, they made sure that we empty that thing and everything. It's geez, yeah, we're gonna empty it. I don't want to invite mosquitoes or anything, but oh my goodness, it was just that. And it was just other things. It was just nuts. But like I was saying, the neighbor across from her used to live there, and she kind of terrorized them into their kids to stay inside all the time too. And now we have new neighbors that live across from her, and she was trying to prevent the new neighbors moving in because of course they had kids. She doesn't want any kids living next to her. Which I'm you can't really prevent that, but good luck, right? But she's making those neighbors' lives a living hell right now, from what I'm hearing. That she just constantly gripes to them all the time. But my poor neighbor next door, she has to deal with the gripes. And she told me when so my neighbor, when she moved in next door, then my neighbor that moved in, cat lady told me she doesn't like children either. And I was just like, I was really upset. I'm like, oh great, I'm trying to keep my kids, quiet, not so loud whenever I have them outside playing. And it was such a different experience when she came over and started talking to me and saying hi and introducing herself and being so kind to my kids. I was just like, oh, I thought you didn't like children. So-and-so told me that you weren't fond of them. And she goes, no, I love kids, So it was just like, it was really upsetting to see like how she's like spreading those kind of rumors to get people to be against my neighbor too as well. And my neighbor, she's so kind. She was very helpful to Cat Lady by helping mowing her lawn at times. I remember the first few years when she moved in that she would help mow the lawn for her. And she would just, help out occasionally. She helps everyone in this neighborhood out. She's so sweet. And it's just like having someone, when you've been that helpful, and then all of a sudden she comes over and tries to snipe the people that you're trying to sell the house to. It's so rude. But it's, like I said, it's gotten so bad. So the neighbors across from my neighbor, they're moving to because of her. They just can't stand dealing with her nonsense. They've been here longer than I've been here. So that's saying something. So I'm hoping that she doesn't refocus her wrath towards me. But at least I have neighbors from next to me and across from me that have kids too. And maybe we can like band together or something this year. I hope so, because this won't be a pleasant summer if that's the case. But I think I have one more story about her. I have one more story about her before I move on to, other stuff, because, you guys don't want to hear me rant. But this one's a kind of nuts one. And I tell this one to everyone. This one and then the first time I met her story. So this one is about when my oldest Nicole is in school. The twins, they're still young. They started walking, so we were able to walk to the bus stop. This was still when we only picked them up at the bus stop. So, and it was like a pretty good distance walk. This is before they built all the houses that's past her house now, and they actually have a bus stop right over there. Go figure. But anyway, this bus stop was I would say good, because of how the hill was and walking down the hill and going there. I would say about a 10-minute walk. About a 10 to 15-minute walk. Not awful, but not fun whenever it's, hot. But I remember going out and I see Cat Lady screaming. And this is why I'm calling her Cat Lady. She's just like screaming her cat's name. Her cat got out. And she was really upset, and I was, I felt bad for her, but I had to go pick up my kid, because what I normally do is time it so that way by the time I get there, I only have to wait like 5 minutes, and then we can walk home, because my kids can only handle standing around so long before we have to, before they get tired out. So I go out there, and she's all like, my cat ran out of the door. You need to help me find him. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. I gotta go pick up my daughter. And she acted like I was the most horrible person in the world. And it was just like, she wanted me to go into the, so this is why I talked about it. She wanted me to go into the field. With all the overgrown grass and weeds and stuff like that. And I would say it was about 3.5 feet tall at the time. And she wanted me to go into that to look for her cat with my 2 young children while I'm trying to go pick up my other young child. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I can't because my kids were shorter than that grass. There's no way. And I'm not going to let her watch my kids. She already tells me that how much she hates children. And another point was it's coyote infested there. Like there was multiple spottings of coyotes in that area. I didn't want to go in there and, risk getting attacked. And I felt bad for her and her cat, but I was just like, I don't have any animals. That's not my animal. My children are more important than her things. I'm not risking my life and having my kids, floundering or wandering all over the place because she needs me to find her cat. So I was just like, I'm sorry. I need to go pick up my kid. And she was just wailing and screaming. It was a mess. So I apologize, and I shouldn't have offered, but I said I could see if I could help out later, but luckily she wasn't out there when I came back home, and I rushed myself back inside once I got in my kids, and I was a little late. I was rushing by that point because she held up so much of my time. I got there. I got to the stop sign and the bus was pulling up, and then I was like running down the street to get to the actual stop for that the bus stops at. Luckily, the bus driver saw me, and she let my kid off so that way she could meet up with me. It was just like, goodness, she almost made me have to call my husband to go pick up my kid because of this. But it was just like, oh my goodness. But yeah, it was just that kind of nuts thing. And then, for someone who also doesn't like children, she makes homemade goods for them on Halloween. And I don't accept them. I don't know. I literally can't trust her with the way she treats everyone around here. I can't trust her at all. So, the first year when we went trick-or-treating, I wasn't expecting her out, but she was out there, and I couldn't escape, so she gave me like a handmade thing for Nicole, and I was just like, okay, thank you, and I threw it away. I'm like, who knows, she could have laced it with like laxatives or something like that, so I mean, like, I know that tampering's not allowed, but I don't know, I don't trust her. I really don't. I mean, like, she may not be that mean or something like that, but the way she treats everyone is just like, no. But luckily, I've managed to avoid her every Halloween since. I, like, whenever she was, like, trying to wave us over the first few years, we went, no thank you, and just kept walking by, or like, we'll come back later, But yeah, it was just like, I don't trust the lady. So, but it's good to know if my husband and I ever do want to sell this house, not to have an open house if she's still around, because I don't want that kind of mess going on when I'm trying to sell a house. My poor neighbor. The reason why I'm talking about this is whatever she said to these potential buyers. They've told the realtor, I don't want to live next to that woman. I'm not buying that house. So I'm just like, man, that she ramped up the crazy already, like, to these new people that could be her neighbors. That's kind of scary. All right, I'm gonna go and take a sip of my coffee, and then we'll keep on going. Actually, my fizzy water. Okay, on to better and nicer things. So this week hasn't been like too crazy, which is why I decided to talk about my neighbor and all the crazy things that she's done. And I mean, like, there's so much more that she's done than just this, but that's the stuff that really has stand out over the years. I mean, like I've been here for 8 years, and yeah, she's so not a lot has happened. I think, let's see, Friday was a bit of an exciting adventure, and I kind of will say exciting in quotation marks. So we had some storms that come through, and that morning after we drop off the kids, I'm looking at the weather and it's saying, strong storms coming through in the afternoon, um, uh, gusty winds, chance of tornado, and hail possible. And I'm like, oh boy, I better not let Nicole see this. Too late. Like I tell you guys, she's like a little meteorologist. Or in her mind, she loves to tell everyone what she's doing, what she's, what the weather is, what it's going to be like. So when we left that afternoon to go pick them up, my phone starts blaring, a tornado warning. No sirens, nothing else. My husband's phone hasn't even done anything. And we're like, okay, well, should we pull over? Because we're literally going to the kids' school. Find out, like, on the National Weather Service, it doesn't say anything about a tornado in our area. It says that there's a watch, but not like a warning like my phone was doing. So I'm assuming that my phone picked up for like a different area of the county, or like a different county, and or it was a early kind of thing and they didn't mean to do that. I don't know. So when we picked her up, she was all like, there may be a tornado today, Immediately I'm like, okay, chill out, because that makes Michael and Jana start freaking out. I'm like, calm down, it's okay, because I've already had a feeling. She looked at her tablet. And then we get home and everything's fine. We're doing our normal Friday routine, and our Friday routine consists of, like, after dinner, and if we have showers and stuff like that, we will sit down and we'll watch Nerdy Crafter, Mariah Elizabeth on YouTube. We also, like, if it's, if they have an update, we'll watch Evan and Caitlin, because the kids love watching all three of those. And that's what we normally watch back to back to back. Sometimes we'll also watch, like, puzzle things and other crafty type of YouTubers, and and usually that's what we do until it's time for bed. Sometimes we'll play games, and it's a pretty good Friday routine, I feel like. But I would say about 6 o'clock, my phone does the warning sound again. Because my phone isn't on silent, so my phone immediately starts blaring, and Nicole's head immediately picks up, like, is that what I think it is? I'm like, calm down. I'm like, the sirens haven't started. I started looking at my phone to see, like, where they saw rotation or whatnot, because normally if they say, like, if it's, further south and it's going this way, it's like, okay, not a big deal. Keep an ear out, we'll be fine. This time it said heading towards our area. And as I'm reading this, I hear the sirens. And I'm like, oh, no. At this point, the kids freaked out because, all of them are like, tornado. I was like, chill, chill out, chill. We're trying to get them calmed down. We have them, gather up their pillows. They get their little, their stuffed animals, and we put them into the bathroom. And my husband goes, Jessica. I'm like, oh God, what? He goes, come look at this. His first thing is always, I gotta look out the window. I gotta go outside. I'm like, you're gonna get yourself killed one day. And he's looking, and it's like, he's looking at in front of us. I wouldn't know, like, but how far away it was. To me, it looks like it could have been like 3 streets over. But, I mean, like, if there were 3 additional streets, but, I mean, like, I'm not a good gauge of distance, but, there was a funnel cloud, and that was scary. But we saw rotation. It was a low cloud, so, and we definitely saw the rotation going. It was like, that's not good. That's not good at all. My husband then starts taking a video of it. I'm like, what is wrong with you? And then, like, he goes upstairs to take a better look at this thing. So this kind of gives me a reminder of a few years ago. So tornadoes don't normally come around here. We usually get a lot of warnings, but not like actual, touchdowns. But it was, I think, about, I want to say 2 years ago, and it was late at night. It was either a year ago or 2 years ago. It was like right around school started. A tornado warning came out late at night. It was really bad. I'm like, it was storming so bad. I mean, like, Friday's storm was pretty rough too. Not like as rough as the one that we dealt with like a year ago, but it definitely flickered the lights off and everything. Like not completely off, it just flickered. But the storm that happened a few years back, it was like constant rumbling, constant like lightning and thunder, and we just kept getting warning after warning after warning after warning. And I remember like we had sirens on we had sirens like that late night at the very beginning of the first warning, but nothing after that. But my husband wanted to look outside, and he's like, can't see anything because it's pitch black, but he swears that he saw basically either a funnel cloud or a tornado like way down there. And we did get a thing of saying the next day that there was a tornado that was touched down in the area, and it destroyed like a farm or something like that. It was like they rated it like an EF0 or EF1, something like that. But I was just like, you are nuts! Come over here and cuddle with the rest of us. Because at the time we didn't go into the bathroom. The kids were small enough to hide in the closet, which was underneath the stairs. And what we did was like we stuffed all three of them into the closet. We took everything out, and then I would flip the couch that we have. It's a wedge type couch like that would connect to the other two couches. We flipped that over, and then I would sit in front of in front of the closet door, because the bathroom we have, it's still like on an outside wall, but that's the only other safe option that we have, because we have an open door plan. And like I said, tornadoes don't normally come around here, so. But yeah, so yeah, my husband scares me sometimes. So, those were the two instances. But Friday was just like, he went upstairs. I'm like, what are you doing? Come downstairs. There's a funnel cloud. And he's like, I just want to take a better look to make sure. And it's like, okay, all right, I guess. Luckily, nothing happened. Nothing touched down, thankfully. Whew. But man, that guy scares me sometimes. Let's see. We also had Mother's Day. I had a very nice, quiet Mother's Day. Well, quiet is relative, but I had a nice one. The kids made cards, or little projects from school. And then I didn't get like breakfast in bed or anything like that. I can't really eat eggs or anything like the kids can. I unfortunately have an allergy to. It's not like eggs that are in like cookies or like cakes or stuff like that. Things that are baked, I'm fine with. It's just like if it's overwhelmingly egg or mostly egg, and it's like on the stovetop and boiled or scrambled, my body can't handle them for some reason. It's just I break out. I get some horrible cramps. I feel like I'm about to die at times. So I have to get egg substitute, and we don't have any egg substitute right now. Darn it. But yeah, I didn't have like breakfast in bed or anything like that. Instead I got kids waking me up at 7:00 in the morning going, Mommy? Yeah, can I play on my tablet? Okay. And it was just like every few 30 to 40 minutes, it was just like, Mommy? What? Let me sleep in. I think my husband took pity and took them downstairs after the fourth or fifth interruption and said, let's just let Mommy sleep in. I didn't sleep in. It was a sweet gesture, though. Very sweet. But I did lay in bed for a little bit, started scrolling my phone, and then I went downstairs. But yeah, it was a really nice Mother's Day. I gotten a strawberry shortcake. My husband made for me and his mom. It was very tasty. And then for dinner, I was basically just wanting to use up some vegetables. I was like trying to figure out a way we could use up the peppers that we bought, because the other day I made sloppy joes. I made sloppy joes on Saturday, and I was like, oh, we can use these for fajitas. And he goes, do you want chicken or steak? I'm like, I don't care. Pick one. He picked both. I'm like, both is good. Both is great. But, yeah, so that was my dinner. I got to do that. But I felt bad for him because he was like, he was getting tired. I'm like, do you want help? And he's like, sit down. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. He's like, it's Mother's Day. Sit your butt down. I'm like, all right. Speaking of, so I scared my neighbor, my other neighbor over here. I heard her start mowing the lawn. And I'm like, wait. Because she has 3 kids. Like, why is she mowing the lawn on Mom's Day? No. So I come outside, and the moment I see her, I go, no, and I made her jump in the air because she was not expecting me. She was like, you gave me a heart attack. Apparently, I'm good at scaring people, because a few months ago, I scared her too. I went to knock on her door one day because I was invited to come over, and I went to knock to tell her that I'm here, and she went to open the door. I didn't even have a chance to knock. She went to open the door for a different reason and just, flipped out because I'm like standing right there, so I spooked her there too. I'm like, sorry. But apparently I'm good at being very sneaky. I'm told that I'm quiet, and I'm like, I don't see how I'm quiet considering how I'm so big. I'm just like, I don't see how, but okay, because she's like, you're really quiet. You sneak up on people a lot. I'm like, okay. My oldest thinks I'm a ninja too, because, but I equate that, sorry, that was probably a little bit loud. I equate that to, let's see, just her being tired that day, because I woke her up and she came out of the bathroom to go back to her room to start changing into her clothes for school, and I'm coming out of my bedroom, and that scared her. She didn't hear me, apparently, but oh well. But that's kind of funny a little bit. But yeah, it was a quiet Mother's Day. I got to do a little bit of diamond painting. Spent some time with the kiddos. I tried to play a couple of games, but Michael was not feeling it, so we had to stop Uno Flip midway through, which was a little disappointing. But at least I got to spend some time with him. My husband did kind of crack a joke saying, "You're lucky Mommy's not making you diamond paint, because none of them like diamond painting." And I was like, yeah, guys, don't you want to diamond paint? It's Mother's Day. Spend some time with me. None of them wanted to diamond paint. That was okay, though. I have a feeling that their Nana's going to make them diamond paint a bit during this summer when they go visit her for sleepovers and stuff like that. I have a feeling that that's going to happen. So, let's see. My kids, Michael and Jana, they had a field trip. Another one, yes. They had it on Monday, and they had a blast from what they told me. They were a little sad because they didn't really get to spend too much time there. The place opened at 10:30, and then they had to come back home. So they only spent like 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours, because it's quite it's quite a bit of a drive from where the school's located, and I said, okay, we'll go there sometime soon. It's a type of museum type thing for kids. And if I remember correctly, I took my baby sister there when she was like 4. So like it was a long time ago, because my little sister, she just turned 18 in November, and she's graduating this year. I'm like, oh my god, you're killing me, kid. Yeah, my mom had one more kid like way later. So like she had one more kid like when I was 16. So it was interesting having a tinier sister, because I already had a sister that's like 2 years younger than me, and then having one that's 16 years younger was definitely quite a different experience. But yeah, she's graduating this year, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you're not supposed to get bigger. None of you are. Stop reminding me now I'm old, dang it. But yeah, I promised the kids that we'll try and go there sometime this year. Just the tickets are so expensive at that place. Good Lord. But I think the experience would be worth it for them, especially since it's some of the things that they're interested in. I still want to go to this other museum that we went to first, though, because I want to get us the tickets to that to the planetarium bit again, and get one that's actually of the night sky, because they would love that, I think. So yeah, let's see. Oh, I want to talk about one little last fun topic before we cut off. Do you guys, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but do you guys deal with phobia, like have any weird type of phobias? Like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this like a few weeks ago or something, because I think I wrote it down, but then I never said it, or I did, and it's completely faded from my mind. But when I was sick and I had to get like medicine from the bottle, it was like either the ibuprofen or the Tylenol. There's cotton in it, and I have a thing about cotton. I don't know what it is, but I can't touch it. It sends me the heebie-jeebies up my spine when I just look at it and touch it. If hearing it pull apart, I was telling my guild leader this about my phobia before, and then she's like, then what do you use to clean your nails with? Because I do a lot of nail. I paint my nails a lot. I go, I use toilet paper, or I use a paper towel. And she's like, oh my god. I'm like, that's the only thing I can handle touching. I can't touch a cotton pad. I can't touch, yuck. I can't. I can't at all. I can't. So I don't know. Do you guys have any weird phobias like that? I remember looking it up before, and it's actually a thing that other people deal with too, but I forgot the name of it. Because I was just so curious about this, because I'm like, I can't be the only one that gets just so creeped out by cotton. I don't know what it is. It's also like that memory foam. You remember those eggshell memory foam bits? I can't touch those either. It's just But yeah, it's just that. And then another weird thing is kinetic sand. I have a thing about kinetic sand. It's not the touch. I can handle touching it. It's just the look of it. It creeps me out when seeing it fall apart. I just can't stand it. So when my kids have to play, when my kids want to play with kinetic sand, they have to play without me being in the room with them, which is probably not a good thing, but I can't look at it, or else I'll just start freaking out so bad. But yeah, I thought I would leave you guys with that. I didn't really get to do too much today. I think I yabbered more than I diamond painted, so hopefully I can start working on this a little bit later. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!